Good morning. Welcome to the 2010 Lincoln High School Senior Awards Program. Today we recognize the accomplishments of individual students' efforts throughout their four-year school career. As you may have noticed from the program, we have a fairly long list of awards and scholarships. So in the interest of time, each presenter will introduce the next person listed on the program. Our first presenter is our principal here at Lincoln High School, Mr. Jeff Arts.
Before I get started with the awards, I'd like to take just a little bit of time to talk about the class of 2010. And I guess you have to kind of know this group. I had to try to pick a symbol, something to remember them by. So I walked through the halls this morning and I picked something up that I think symbolizes this group really well. This is the only group of students I've ever had that brought a lounge chair to put in the senior hall. And at first, when I took a look at this chair sitting there earlier this year, and I said, no way. I'm not going to have 40 kids that look like Country Fest here every noon hour where they're going to be hanging out in the hall. But that's the only chair that came into the school. They shared that chair the entire year. It seemed like every time I walked past, somebody else was sitting in it. Nobody was fighting over it. So to me, that symbolizes this class. Very cooperative, very nice group of kids. They get things done when you ask them to get things done. And so I just wanted to thank them this year because it's been a very enjoyable year. And when I think back about the class of 2010, I'm going to think of that chair. So let's give one round of applause for the entire class. Whoever this is, you need to bring this home today. Also, before I get started, I'd actually like to thank all of the donors, all the people that donated money for the scholarships, the organizations, the individuals, because as education, post-secondary education becomes more and more important, it's more important that we have these scholarships so students can go on to school and not feel like it's a huge burden the first year that they leave Lincoln High School. So again, before we start, I'd like to thank all of the people that donated, people that take their time to raise money for our students. We very much appreciate that. It really helps the first year. So again, thank you. The first group of students coming to the stage started earning this award and this honor when they were freshmen. They earned a grade point average of 92 on a 100-point scale over their 4 years in high school. This coming Friday, they'll be recognized at graduation with gold honor cords and an asterisk by their name in the program. This group of students is not only successful academically, but are often involved in many activities at Lincoln High School. They truly make Lincoln the best place to learn. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the honor students for the class of 2010. And this is the first year. Last year, they had to earn a 90. The school board got together, we discussed it with them, and they upped the grade point average to 92. So they had to meet a little higher standard this year. So this is a great accomplishment for these students. So I would like to bring the students up, and if you could hold your applause until all the students have received their awards. Ben Capal, Jessica DeYoung, Cole Hansen, Shannon Heller, Hannah Kalina, Caitlin Cole, Brittany Lofgren, Sloan Sanders, Caitlin Sebrin, Stephanie Seichter, and Carissa Shoemaker. Class of 2010 honor students. The next group of students I'd like to come up to the stage are students that volunteered their time and their leadership this year organizing many student and community events at Lincoln. They were involved in planning homecoming, 2 blood drives, actually we only had 1 blood drive this year, but it was very successful, and the Veteran Day program, just to name a few things. I'd like to thank them for their dedication and their leadership. This year's student council members are Sheldon Divetter, Jessica DeYoung, Jacob Buell, and student council president Shannon Heller. If you want to come up to the stage. The last group of students I'd like to thank donated their time and service to the class in 2010. They gave up their lunch hours to meet with Mr. Roloff to plan activities that affected the senior class. They had to pick out the invitations. They have to plan the class trip. They have to make decisions for the class when we cannot get the class together. These are our class officers, and this year's class officers are Shannon Heller, senior class president, Ben Capal, senior class vice president, Jessica DeYoung, senior class treasurer, and Brittany Lofgren, senior class secretary. This is the principal's meeting. This year's class officers. The first scholarship that I'd actually like to give out today is a new scholarship. This scholarship, about a few months ago, the Red Cross called us and told us since we had such a successful blood drive that they were going to provide us with a scholarship. So we had not thought about who was going to receive this scholarship, so we picked a student council member since they organized it, and we thought somebody that provided leadership, somebody that works and volunteers within the community, shows a positive attitude, and does a great job for us here at Lincoln every day. So this year's first annual Red Cross Student Council Scholarship goes to Jacob Buell. On November 4th of 2007, Lincoln lost a very special young lady. Megan Powell was an 8th grade student who was full of life and very open about her dream of becoming a teacher. The Powell family established this scholarship in Megan's memory with the hope that it will help another student accomplish his or her dream to become a teacher, work in the field of education, or pursue their dream through a college education. Because of the overwhelming response of the community and the success of the scholarship fundraising, Megan's family decided to give 2 $2,000 scholarships this year. The 3rd annual Megan Powell Scholarship recipients are Stephanie Seichter and Hannah Kalina. The next scholarship I'd like to present this morning is the Frida Stam Memorial Scholarship, Salutatorian Scholarship. This scholarship is awarded in memory of Frida Stam, who was a former elementary teacher at Lincoln. Frida wanted to have a scholarship that recognized the accomplishments of the class salutatorian. This year, the scholarship goes to Cole Hansen. Just so you know, we've been adjusting the thermostat all morning, and we think we got it about perfect. So we're still working on that. The next scholarship I'd like to award is the Wisconsin Academic Excellence Scholar Award. The Academic Excellence Scholar Program was initiated in an effort to keep the best and the brightest students in the state of Wisconsin. Academic Excellence Scholarships are awarded to Wisconsin high school seniors who have the highest grade point average after 7 semesters in each public and private high school throughout the state of Wisconsin. The value of the scholarship is approximately $2,250 per year to be applied towards tuition at any participating UW school, Wisconsin Technical College, or independent institution in Wisconsin. This year's Academic Excellence Scholarship is awarded to Shannon Heller. We're going to have Shannon stay on the stage so she gets the next award as well. But if you don't know Shannon, Shannon was up here obviously as class student council president, class officer, or as the president of their class. She's put a lot of time in. She's worked very hard. She deserves everything that she receives today. And I just want to thank you for your leadership and all the things that you've done to help me this year organize programs. So again, one more round of applause for her. The Jackson County Bank also presents a $500 scholarship to the valedictorian of the senior class. And again, as I told you, Shannon is our valedictorian this year and a very deserving recipient of the Jackson County Valedictorian Scholarship. So, I would now like to introduce Carla Laufenberg, who will be coming up to present our next scholarship. Carla?
Co-op Credit Union provides $1,200 scholarships to all 5 high schools in its membership area. To be eligible for consideration, the recipient or recipient's parent or guardian is to be an active member of the credit union, and then is based on merit. Our Lincoln High School scholarship student this year has done very well academically and is a member of the National Honor Society. She has been president of the Future Business Leaders of America. She has been active in 3 sports and is active in community service. She plans to major in human and family development at UW Stout. Congratulations to Stephanie Seichter. The Charles Seckler Fund Scholarship was established by the will of Grace Seckler Ross in 1953 in memory of her well-known father, after whom Secklerville is named. Divided among 3 high schools, the amount this year to each recipient is $720, and this recipient goes to Cole Hansen of Hickston. And next we'll have Wilva Marshall.
Because of the generosity of one of the Seckler family, our Secklerville Cemetery Association is in the unusual position to be able to award 3 $1,000 scholarships, one to each one of the local schools in the school districts, Elma Center, Blair Taylor, and Black River Falls. At this time, as president of the Secklerville Cemetery Association, I would like to present this scholarship to Brittany Lofgren. And now someone from the Gady family will present the next award.
I'd like to say turn on the fan. Just a little warning here. On behalf of the Gady family, I would like to present this award to a very outstanding young lady who has done extreme extracurricular activities in her community, in her church, and in her school. It is my pleasure to present this to Shannon Heller. And the next person on the program is Alice Gansel with a Lincoln alumni. Thank you.
For the graduates of this class, you can add the word alumni very shortly to your vocabulary. The Alumni Association has been very generous, and this year, instead of giving 2 lesser amounts, we are giving 4 $1,000 scholarships. So at this time, could I have Ben Capal, Jessica John, Carissa Shoemaker, and Catlin Simon.
Assume that I'm next.
Sorry.
The Ruzick Family Scholarship is based on both academic and athletic excellence. And this year we had 4 tremendous entries, all of them young ladies, any one of which I think in the past could have won our $750 scholarship. But there can be only one winner, and this year's winner is not only the winner of this scholarship, but she's also the new women's track record holder in the 800-meter dash and the maybe I shouldn't say dash, and the 1600-meter races, Jessica DeJong. And now I will turn it over to Junior Jacobs.
On behalf of Jackson Electric, we're very happy to hand out the scholarship. We give out scholarships in 8 different high schools. So we try to get the co-op knowledge around. And this year's winner is Hannah Kalina. And the next presenter will be Tony Lane for the FFA.
Lincoln FFA alumni annually gives a scholarship to an outstanding FFA member who has been an active member and has met the FFA state degree requirements. We've already awarded this scholarship at our banquet, which was held in April. We wanted to take this opportunity to recognize our recipients at this award ceremony. The recipient of the $250 Lincoln FFA Alumni Scholarship is Elizabeth Geske.
The Investment Club Scholarship is $5,000 that is made possible by the Lunda family. And this year we have 3 recipients. Receiving $1,000, which will be awarded second semester next year, is Jacob Yule. Receiving $1,500 is Sheldon Diebetter. And receiving $2,500 is Shannon Heller. Up next, we have Miss Tiffany Bell.
Sorry to disappoint, but I'm not giving away any money today. First up, I have, typically there's one senior art award, and this year I couldn't decide, so I gave out 2. First, I have an award for exceptional quality in artwork. The student has done his best all year and turned in wonderful projects, and that is Mr. Jacob Yule. And next up, I have an award for outstanding efforts in art. This student has really turned it around, done an amazing job in art. Anything I ask him to do, he's right there doing it, and that is Mr. Lucas Score. See here? And next up is Miss Amanda Compa.
Is this to wipe your brow, Mr. Arts? All right, good morning. I'm giving out 2 awards this morning from the Social Studies Department. These awards go to the student with the highest grade in both psychology and economics class. And this year, this award goes out to the same student. So it is my honor to award Jessica DeYoung these awards for excellence in psychology and economics.
And next will be Mr. Imgren.
I'm one of the coaches for forensics at Lincoln High School, and we have one senior that participated in forensics this year, and this student did an excellent job with practicing and working hard, and going beyond that, was a very good inspiration for other team members. Very encouraging, good attitude always. And so I'm pleased to award a second year for participation award to Ariel Johnson. The next presenter will be Miss Susan Clark.
Seniors, it's been a pleasure working with you. I've really enjoyed you this year. Thank you. The Language Arts Award is given to the senior who has the highest grade point average in English, 9 through 12. And as I was working through who that would be, going through the vault, through the records, I realized we had 7 people with A averages. And that's tremendous. However, I can only give this award to the highest grade point average. And this gal is a world traveler, very articulate. I'm sure she can handle anything that comes her way. Shannon Hill. Mr. Rich Larson is next.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. In recognition of Senior Awards Ceremony, I personally would like to first of all recognize the parents who have assisted us in preparing our school district's youth for their future. Without the encouragement from the parents, our task here as an educator, advisor, coach, or assistant would definitely have been more of a struggle. So please accept my sincere thank you to all of you. Secondly, as Lincoln Ag instructor, I would like to ask all graduating seniors that have been enrolled in the Ag Ed program here at Lincoln, taking a class in Ag Ed during their high school career, please stand so I may show my sincere appreciation for your efforts. Those classes include Wildlife and Natural Resources, Pet Science, Large Meat Animal Science, Small Meat Animal Science and Dairy Science, Horticulture Landscaping, Ag Mechanics, Ag Structures, Small Engines, and Welding. Please stand. Thank you. Next, I would like to speak on behalf of the Agriculture Youth Apprenticeship participants. After successfully completing the requirements of high school diploma and school-based and work-based requirements of youth apprenticeship, these students will receive a certificate of occupational proficiency from the Department of Workforce and Development. They have completed their year in production agriculture youth apprenticeship in plant science and in animal science. After the final paperwork has been completed and sent to the state, please, Trevor Green and Trenton Bemis, would you please come forward to the stage to be recognized? It's working. As many of you may know, our FFA banquet is held at Club 95, Supper Club, in April. We recognize FFA members' accomplishments, even though it was attended by over 110 guests. I would like to take a brief moment for our guests to recognize those senior accomplishments. In these proficiency areas, would you please stand, unless you're working too. Joe Turnmeyer, participation in state level in ag mechanics repair and maintenance. Dalton Sogla, silver at the state level in agricultural services. Sheldon Divetter, bronze at state in the dairy production. Laura Hawley, silver at state in small animal care, and she was also the Section 3 winner. Trevor Green, silver at state in dairy production. Liz Geske, silver at state in swine production. And Trenton Bemis, who is working,
placing third gold in the state in fruit production and also the Section 3 winner. He is going to be receiving a check and recognition at the state convention in June. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you. Next, I would also like to recognize the senior who is going to be receiving their state FFA degree at the Wisconsin State FFA Convention in June. Would Liz Geske please stand and be recognized? Then I would like to recognize the graduating senior FFA members. When your name is called, please come forward to receive your certificate. Trenton Bemis, Trevor Green, Sheldon Divetter, Liz Geske, Laura Hawley, Nick Van Roo, Joe Turnmeyer, Dalton Sogla, Kyle Chester, Caitlin Cole. Congratulations. I would also like to take this time to acknowledge a few individual senior FFA members that will be applying for their state FFA degree next year. The reason for targeting their FFA degree next year is because they have bigger goals in mind. These members have programs that could earn a spot as one of the top or the elite top 10 in the state of Wisconsin of all state FFA degrees applied for. Through discussions I had with them, they have chosen to apply for their state degree in 2011. Through their continued participation, personal efforts, and continued support by you, the parents, I will assist them in reaching their goals they have set for themselves. Those people are Trevor Green, Trenton Bemis, Sheldon Divetter, and Laura Hawley. Congratulations. I look forward to our next presenter on the list is Mr. Bill Roberts.
Everybody ready for a break? As a member of Lincoln High's special ed department, at the beginning of the school year, it's always a difficult challenge to coordinate all the help needed in study halls for the kids. And so I went to Mr. Loudon and I said, I really need a senior that can be responsible and help me with a particular 7th grade boy that needed a little extra boost. And he gave me the name of a particular young lady that has been extremely valuable to me. I don't know what I would have done without her. So today I'd like to give a Teacher Assistance Award to Caitlin Sebrin. Next up, Mr. Durney.
Good morning and congratulations all seniors. I have 4 athletic awards to present today. The first are Senior Athletic Awards. Our Senior Athletic Awards go to students who have shown excellence in athletics here at Lincoln High School and also academics. And the 2 award winners are Jessica DeYoung and Travis Janke. Also, Jessica DeYoung was chosen as Lincoln's representative to the WIA and was a WIA Scholar Athlete Award winner. And my last award is an award that's presented by the U.S. Army Reserve, and we had one young lady who qualified as an Army Reserve Scholar Athlete, and that was Shannon Heller. Next up is Mr. Scott Kelly with the Industrial Ed Awards.
Good morning. My awards are a little more informal. I wanted to make it a little bit more fun, but I also want to recognize the seniors that are well deserving this year. First of all, I just want to set the theme for my year. As you know, or maybe don't know, this is my first year teaching at Lincoln High School and also my first year teaching. So, as a first year teacher, I guess the theme of my presentation this morning is going to be the first time experiences. As you can imagine, first year teaching, there are many of those first time experiences. Some of those good and some of those bad, of course. Definitely a good learning experience. I remember the first time sitting in front of a class, and first time without a supervising teacher. So I was sitting up there by myself with the students, and class started. I couldn't remember if the bell rang or if the students knew if it rang or not, but I remember sitting there staring at the students, and they were staring back, and I had no idea what I should do. I remember I wrote my name on the board, Mr. Kelly, and I had my lesson plan in front of me. Everything was in order, but I just seemed to freeze for a little while. And I also had a list. It was a construction methods class. There was 9 individual seniors in there. And I had a list of construction projects that we were planning for the year. But all I could remember saying, after I finally built up enough courage to actually say something, is, does anybody know Pat and Dale Gower? And I think they all looked at me like I was crazy. But not being from the community, of course, there was a lot of learning experiences. But this construction methods class that I mentioned, consisting of all seniors, that's the first time I had a class with all seniors in there, so it was naturally very challenging. A little bit of history about my student teaching experience and experience with other schools is I hear all these horror stories about seniors. And you can imagine that either be current seniors or past seniors, all these stories. In fact, some of the stories were so intimidating to me that I didn't know what I should do my first year of teaching. I remember some of the stories went into length about, this student or that student being a troublemaker or causing problems for the teacher. Of course there are good things too that are mentioned about seniors, but I also remember a couple teachers that I would mention seniors and all they could do is grunt or make some kind of a weird noise. So I knew it was definitely an intimidating experience. So that being said, here I sat with a group of 9 seniors in a construction methods class. Not only where I have to work with those seniors in the classroom, but I also have to take them out in public, which can be very intimidating. So here I have 9 group of seniors, my first year teaching, and we're going out in the public to work on construction projects. So I was extremely intimidated. But going through my student teaching experience at school, I had all this great advice from all these experienced teachers on how to handle seniors. And some of that advice was legal and some wasn't legal, but I naturally took some notes and tried to utilize those notes. But there was one particular story that I remember about from an older gentleman that was just retiring who gave me some advice about seniors, and I just want to read that story real quickly. There was an old man, a boy, and a donkey. They were going to town, and it was decided that the boy should ride the donkey. As they went along, they passed some high school seniors who exclaimed that it was a shame for the boy to be riding a donkey when the old man was walking. The man and the boy decided, well, maybe the seniors are right, so they changed positions. Later, they passed some more seniors who exclaimed that it was a real shame for the old man, for the old man to be riding while a young, small boy should be walking. So they decided, well, maybe they both should walk. Soon they passed more seniors who exclaimed that it was stupid to walk when they had a donkey to ride. So the man and boy decided, well, maybe the seniors are right again, so they decided they both should ride. And as you can imagine, that they passed some more seniors who exclaimed it was a shame to put 2 people on such a small donkey. The poor animal couldn't hold that weight, so the old man and the boy decided, well, maybe the seniors are right again, so they decided to carry the donkey. So as they were carrying the donkey, they came to this bridge as they were traveling across town, and the donkey, as they lost balance, the donkey fell off the bridge and died. And that's the story. But there's a moral of that story, is if you try to please every senior, you end up losing your ass. So I tried to take that advice into consideration. I had a group of 9 seniors who definitely tried to persuade me one way or the other, and I tried to please them all, but I knew that if I did that, I was going to end up losing my ass, so I did the best I can, but needless, I don't need to say that we definitely ended up working together and actually having a very successful year, so I thank all those groups of seniors that were in my construction methods class. I want to recognize them individually, and I wanted to, I guess I understand there's a few that aren't here, but I'm going to make a quick note about those students either way. So, keeping the first time experiences theme in mind, there was a student that I met this year who was the first student that used phrases older than me. And I could tell right away that this student ended up getting phrases from either a grandfather or maybe a neighbor that was older. The student always brought phrases into the classroom. And I know one student mentioned to me, a different student said, we should have probably taken notes and wrote these phrases down because we could have probably wrote a book. But so anyways, that award I'd like to give to, the award would be Phrase of the Day to Trenton Bemis. I understand he's not here, he's working, but that young man is one of the first students that I also seen stay late at a project and shake one of the customer's hands. So when the rest of them were waiting on the bus, not to fault them, but this student actually stayed on his own time and he shook one of the customer's hand. I really appreciate that. So I'd like to recognize Trenton Bemis. Moving forward, there's another first-time experience. First time I ever met a student that had a love for chickens and selling eggs. Not that that's a bad thing, but I just haven't run into a student that, and I maybe never will again. But this is a student that is quite unique. In fact, we're working on a project right now. It's a horse pen at the Spalding resident. And I remember we were working very hard digging some holes to put some posts in the ground. And this young gentleman walked up to me and said, Mr. Kelly, can I go check out the chicken coop? I said, sure. This young man is Tyler Betcher, and I'd like to award him with the Eggman Award. This one's kind of difficult to believe, but this next award, first time I met a senior who was stronger than I am. Very difficult to believe, right? Okay, we call this man, or I call this young individual strong man. This is the type of student that, ends up opening a jar of pickles after I've loosened it. But this young gentleman was quite a leader in the group. In fact, I'm going to recognize him with a Construction Leadership Award. This is a young man who definitely took charge at every single project, and the individual was extremely motivated and extremely good at getting other students motivated, and that individual is Travis Janke. Dwayne Laufenberg here this morning? All right, Dwayne has a lot of mood swings. He's the first senior, though, that I have met that knows more about lumber yards than I do, and naturally it comes naturally in because he worked at a lumber yard, AC Lumber. But as his mood swings became very well known to me, I learned to adjust to them. But it was very easy for me to learn what type of mood he was in very quickly. As he walked in, I could just tell by his posture or his face, so I learned to adapt very quickly. But he was definitely an expert about the lumber and the construction lumber. He definitely passed along a lot of information to me that I was unfamiliar with. So I would like to award Dwayne with, let me see which award I gave him, the Construction Expert Award. So I'd like to recognize Dwayne. Lucas Score is also not here, but he's the first student that I met that can eat more than I can. So I was going to award him the Hungry Man Award, but Lucas is not here, but another individual that ended up finishing very strong was quite an asset to our program, so I appreciate that, and I'd like to recognize Lucas Score. This next first-time experience is a senior that taught me a new vocabulary and possibly a new language. I'm not sure what those vocabulary words were and what type of language it is, but I'm not going to lie to you, it's pretty cool. But this individual had brought a type of slang that I started actually repeating, and I was kind of ashamed of it at first, but after a while I started to fit in better, so I appreciate that. Another individual that was very precise in his measurements, and he was the gentleman that was usually in charge of cutting the lumber. Very precise. So the Construction Precision Award goes to Dalton Sobla. And just a few more and I'll get out of the way here. Joe Termeyer is also gone this morning, but Joe I'd just like to recognize for being extremely motivated at times. Joe was going to receive the award, Get Her Done Award. He was the type of student that would definitely get things done when he chose to do so. And last but definitely not least, the first senior who was more confident at all times than I could ever imagine being. This is a senior that even when I questioned a project or a activity that we were doing, this gentleman, although he didn't appear nervous at all, was very, very confident about what he could do and his talents. He has a very extremely visual capability that I wish I had, but this young gentleman has been quite a leader as well, and quite an asset to our program. That's Jacob Buell, who received the Construction Creativity Award. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Severson.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly delighted to be here today. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out, and I also want to say, I always like to say this, that every one of our seniors are important, whether you get an award or not. I always feel that way. Seniors, how many days you guys have left? 3 days till your different education starts. You just enjoy it while you're here. For Mr. Brummer, we have a chemistry award that goes to Caitlin Cole. Also from Mr. Brummer's class, a physics award that goes to Alex Berry, Sheldon Dyvetter, Ben Capal, and in genetics, the real stuff, Hannah Kalina, Brittany Lofgren, Carissa Shoemaker. And then we have some awards that go to our students that have had all of our science classes at Lincoln. I'll save this one for later, but Sloan Sanders, Sheldon Dyvetter, and Alex Berry. And then our final award is our top science student for the class of 2010. This is kind of nice because this is my final shot at this individual. Would Sloaney Sanders please come forward? And I don't see a box of Kleenexes, but I know that Mrs. Larson is next.
For those of you that haven't been here before, I have a reputation of getting weepy at this because I'm so proud of the kids. Congratulations, class of 2010. A couple of bookkeeping things to take care of. We recorded the concert Friday night. Mrs. Strandberg is recording the ceremony. Of course, we'll record graduation, and then we'll be having Brittany's slideshow. And we will create a DVD with the different chapters. If you would like one, she'll be burning those next week. Bring $2 this week while you're still here. Give it to Mrs. Strandberg, and we'll get those to you after our big event on Friday. Also, Friday morning when we have rehearsal, we take the official class photo with your cap and gown. So to remember to bring your cap and gown to rehearsal, we do that first. If a senior's not here that you're friends with, would you remind them to bring their cap and gown? Because typically we have to send somebody home because they have forgotten to bring in their cap and gown. But we do take the official photograph on Friday. And then parents, if you want a copy of that, what I do is I burn it onto a DVD. I take it down to Walmart with our label on it, and then you can go and have any enlargements or reproductions made that you want. And I will try to get that to Walmart on Friday so that you have it for the weekend if you would like. So that's on Friday. And I'm here to honor one senior. Brittany Lofgren has been our yearbook editor. She has been it for 2 years. And it was a unique thing this year. We went all color, which was new for us. And Brittany took it on to be the editor, and she had some great senior helpers. And if you were a senior helper, please stand and be recognized. It takes more than just one student to do it, so let's give those ladies a round of applause. And Brittany and I agreed to disagree at the beginning of the year, and we did on several occasions, but we got the job done, and I think she did a fantastic job, and I'd like to congratulate Brittany. And we have Kathy Lees next.
I hate to burst Mr. Severson's bubble, but the real stuff happens in the business room. And you can tell him I said that too. I have a few awards to hand out today. I don't know if everyone knows it, but this year we had a Region 4 Vice President, and so Lincoln High School hosted the Region 6 FBLA competition. So we had approximately 750 students with another about 150 adults here in this school and the elementary. And my FBLA club, although they didn't remember it, agreed to it last spring. We allowed Shannon Heller to run for Region 4 Vice President, and my FBLA was very busy all year, and I would like to congratulate them and thank them for all the hard work they did to put the conference on. I want to recognize all of them. As I was going through my certificates, I don't have my certificates all for them, but I will make sure that they get them. First of all, we will start with the Who's Who. We had 2 students that were recognized as Who's Who in FBLA, and that was Stephanie Seichter and Shannon Heller. My officers were, President was Stephanie Seichter, Vice President was Caitlin Sebrin, Secretary was Carissa Shoemaker, and Treasurer was Hannah Kalina. I had two other FBLA members that were not officers but did a lot to, 3 I guess, help with the conference. And that was Jacob Ewell, Sheldon Dievetter, and Dalton Soga. If you would please stand. These students help get judges, help do the decorations, make signs, not prepare the food, but they helped decide what we were going to have. Every little detail that we decided to have with the FBLA Leadership Conference, and with 65 competitions. So again, thank you very much. I also give an award for the highest grade point average. I tried to pick the student that had taken most of the courses in the business field, accounting, computer apps, multimedia, all those were included. This year's student with the highest grade point average in the Business and Information Technology department was Brittany Lofgren. And next up is Kara Wenzel.
Good morning. Each year, I teach a class that's assistant child care teacher. This is a state certified class that actually starts early for these young people. They are required to take parents and children as sophomores, and either as juniors or seniors must take child development, and then can take the assistant child care teacher, which is, as I said, a state certified class. This year we had 4 Lincoln students that were taking it. 3 of them were seniors. As they go through the course, they obviously have to do the coursework, but then there's 3 levels of certification that they must receive. The first is sudden infant death certification, which is a special training that they are able to recognize and reduce the risk of sudden infant death in our infants. The second is shaken baby syndrome provider training, and then the final level, they do their job shadow, they complete all their work and their documentation, and they become certified as assistant child care teachers so that they can go and work in a daycare center. We have 3 seniors who have worked towards this. Rose Guy received her SIDS awareness training and her shaken baby syndrome. I don't think Rose is here. Bethany Arnold received her SIDS, her shaken baby syndrome, and her state certification for assistant child care teacher, as did Ana Karen Hernandez Gonzalez. So congratulations, ladies.
First award I'm going to hand out is to the student who had the highest cumulative GPA in math, and that student is Mr. Cole Hansen. In order to receive the Presidential Academic Fitness, a student must perform academically at a very high level of achievement, 96 plus average over 4 years, and reach the 85th percentile in math or reading on their ACT test. 4 members of the class of 2010 reached this level. Recipients are Ben Kapal, Cole Hansen, Shannon Heller, and Carissa Shoemaker. You get a nice certificate signed personally by Barack Obama.
Sure.
Even though there is no money in my next award, to me this is one of the best recognitions we give out today. And why do I say this? Because this person's classmates, their own classmates, vote on who they think best exemplifies the following characteristics: leadership, dependability, service, and patriotism. Qualities that our country needs if it is to continue its place in the world. The class of 2010's Good Citizen is Jessica DeYoung. The use of tobacco is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. I've been very fortunate to have a large number of seniors who have been involved for the last 3 or 4 years in spreading their message on the consequence of tobacco use on a person's long-term health. Their leadership has been outstanding. I have 4 seniors who were involved this year, and they've been involved almost throughout their high school career: Jessica DeYoung, Ariel Johnson, Sloan Sanders, and Carissa Shoemaker. Thank you. Another one round of applause. The Alma Center VFW Post 8494 and its auxiliary annually gives $500 in scholarships to graduating seniors. The criteria used to determine this award include GPA, leadership, character, service to school and community, co-curricular participation, plus completing a patriotic essay. This year's essay title was "How Does the Service of America's Veterans Benefit Today's Youth?" This year's recipients are Ben Capal and Stephanie Seifer. The UEA, that's the United Educator Association, raised the money for these 3 scholarships by getting individual donations from its members. We also used proceeds from a pop machine. We also used new selection criteria, so we've done it different this year. We decided to recognize certain specific categories rather than a broad thing like we've done in the past. So, academic achievement, we decided to award 1 scholarship to the student who was ranked 3rd in the class of 2010, and that is Jessica DeYoung. We recognize service to school and community to the person who ranked highest in this category on the Lincoln High School application, and that is Shannon Heller. We also recognize the student who worked the hardest to maximize their potential, and we chose Caitlin Sebring. Olem, a 1936 alumnus, strongly believed in the value of education. Because of these beliefs, a permanent scholarship trust was established that annually awards scholarships to help Lincoln graduates fund their post-secondary dreams. The trustee is pleased to name 4 $1,000 scholarship winners to the following members of the class of 2010: Jessica DeYoung, Caitlin Sebring, Stephanie Seichter, and Carissa Shoemaker. The Donald Eisberner Memorial Scholarship was established by the Eisberner family to recognize an outstanding Lincoln senior from the Humbird area, and this year's recipient is Sheldon Diebetter. Globe University chose to celebrate excellence, and that's their name of their award is Celebrating Excellence, by awarding a $2,000 Director's Academic Scholarship to Elizabeth Geske. And Mr. Roloff will finish the program.
Good morning. I have a couple of awards to hand out for Ms. DeMorris, who needed to leave for first hour class. These are presented by the American Red Cross for swimming instructor aides. So if the following people would please come to the stage and receive their award: Caitlin Cole, Brittany Lofgren, Sloan Sanders, and Caitlin Sebring. This last Friday, we had our senior high school spring concert, and I gave some awards to some very deserving seniors. Special leadership awards went to Hannah Kalina, Jessica DeYoung, Sloan Sanders, and Brittany Lofgren. The band director's award went to Ben Capal. And the John Philip Sousa award went to Shannon Heller. There is one other senior, however, that I will mention today, and that's Cole Hansen. You haven't seen him much this year because, frankly, he hasn't been around here. He's been taking all of his classes up at UW Eau Claire. But just to make this, give you a brief synopsis, he started alto sax lessons in the fall of 2002. And by the way, Shannon kicked his butt for a while there, okay? Started solo ensemble in 6th grade, doing a duet with Shannon. And then between 8th grade and last year, 14 events of his went to state, most of them getting firsts. He's been placing and winning at various solo competitions since his sophomore year in high school. Just this past year, he did 3 solos at state, clarinet, alto sax, and piano, and received an exemplary solo award for each one, a feat that was not duplicated anywhere else in the state. As such, he was selected to play at the State Music Convention last fall. At the Dorian Music Festival this last winter, he was selected as one of 3 soloists out of 600 students. He placed second chair in the top college band at UW-Eau Claire this year, played the clarinet solo passage at their spring concert, and then entered a solo competition for college students and won it, and was the featured soloist with the concert band at their spring concert. He's chosen to attend the University of Minnesota next fall, major in instrumental music performance, the first one from our school to ever do so. So at this time, I would like to bring to the stage for special recognition for musical excellence, Cole Michael Hansen. The good news, I'm the last presenter. The London... I know, and the best part is I get to do a concert on this stage tonight. All right, last 6 scholarships. The London Technical School Scholarship. Milt and Lydia Lunda strongly believe in the technical college system and its ability to prepare people with the skills necessary to enter today's tough job market. Through their generosity, Lincoln is able to give the following seniors each a $1,000 scholarship. Attending CVTC next fall, Tyler Betcher, Ben Capal, Ariel Johnson, Travis Jenke, and Jacob Buell. Please come to the stage. The Federation Co-op gives out a $1,000 scholarship to one of their loyal members. Applicants receive LHS scholarship application forms and Federation Co-op forms, and then the Federation Co-op makes the selection. This year's recipient is Beth Arnold. In memory of their many dedicated teachers, the class of 1970 gives a small scholarship money order to a current graduate who is planning on going on to post-secondary school. This year's recipient is Travis Jenke. This is the 7th year of the annual Annie E. O'Brien Memorial Scholarship. This $500 scholarship is awarded to a graduating senior who, like Anne, displays outstanding creativity and a consistent pattern of acts of goodwill, both in school and out in the community. Anne's family was especially impressed with this person because of her time spent with a special needs child. This year, the Anne E. O'Brien Scholarship recipient is Stephanie Seichter. The Maryland Lions Club, due to community support at their annual Labor Day Festival, is able to present a $500 scholarship to a deserving student of the senior class based on their academics, leadership, co-curricular involvement, and service to school and community. This year's recipient is Brittany Lofgren. Once every 5 years, Senator Herb Kohl awards a $1,000 scholarship to each public high school in Wisconsin. The recipient is supposed to be a student who has overcome some barriers and shown a high level of motivation to succeed. This year's $1,000 winner is Ariel Johnson. A few quick closing announcements. First of all, a special thank you to Mrs. Gady for the breakfast this morning, Mrs. Perkins and Mrs. Seichter for putting together the programs and keeping track of all the different winners, Mr. Arts, Mr. Loudon, and the other presenters, and of course, lastly, to those of you that are here, the parents of these seniors, because of course, you have been very important in the path that these people have taken. So thank you to all of those people this morning. Give yourself a round. All right, announcement number 1. Seniors, please bring your cap and gown with you to Thursday morning's graduation practice. After the practice, Mrs. Larson will be taking a class picture. Number 2, seniors, please bring your cap and gown with you to Thursday morning's graduation practice. After the practice, Mrs. Larson will be taking a class picture. Number 3, parents, please feel free to remind any senior that you think will need it of reminders number 1 and number 2. Congratulations to all this year's seniors and their parents. Enjoy the week. I'll see you Friday night for graduation. The ceremony starts at 7 o'clock. And seniors, please stay for a short class meeting after this program. That concludes our program this morning. Thank you for coming out.